I guess my interests are more in the detail than in the broad picture. I had an interesting experience recently where one of the engineers in the project came to me to talk about the big conceptual things, to do. He wanted to carve out, big things. And I told him I didn't know anything about that. I just packaged things. Kind of shocked him. But that's my view of what I do. And the changes that have been made, from one machine to another, are really rather minor. So my want in life is to be left alone to do technical work. We each have our thresholds of how much human interaction we want with our contemporaries. And my requirement is rather minimal. I would say a few hours a week would suffice for me for communication with other people. And I can work alone the rest of the week. So that's, I think, rather extreme. So I'm not looking for the right word, not a team player in the usual sense, that I want the support of other people around me doing the same thing, giving me feedback daily. More of a loner. My daily routine is usually one of working alone in the morning for several hours, and then around lunchtime I make the rounds of the various buildings that I supervise, communicate with people, and that can take from just an hour to several hours and sometimes the whole day. But then if there's any time left over, then I end up going back and doing technical work again. I tend to work at home just because I have better control of the environment. I unplug the telephone, so I know that won't ring. And I'm sure it's annoying for people that are trying to communicate with me, but I think it's the best that I can do in terms of compromising various wants. As long as I communicate once a day with everyone and anyone can get a hold of me once a day, I think that's adequate. I'm sure other people might not quite agree with that. The only way I've been able to teach is by example, and that's a very slow process. I end up doing all the detail work myself, and I'm such a technical perfectionist it turns many people off. I'm the kind of compulsive person, when you walk by your desk and the telephone book's crooked, you straighten it out so it matches the corners of the desk. There's a category of people like that, and I'm one of those. I like to document my own work, and I want to make sure that the printer is absolutely perfect, so there are no letters that have flaws in them. And the ink has to be just right. And when I bind the book, I want to make sure that the corners are just right and the binding is perfect. Now, I find great satisfaction in that sort of detail, and I'm sure that goes into the other things that have made me a success in the sense of having good technical foundations for the things I'm trying to do. Without that kind of perspective of detail, it's very hard to be a broad brush artist, and I don't feel I am one. But it's a great help for making better and better packages. No, not really. The ones that I bought in 1977 or 8, when personal computers were still relatively new. The reason being, it helps in text editing, basically. What I use a personal computer for is text editing. It goes much faster than even an IBM with that little white ribbon that does the automatic erase for you. Ever so much faster. So I can accept tools at that level that are clearly better tools. However, I have trouble, I think, compared to average technical people in accepting new tools in general. I don't want the best tools in the world. I like to stay with very primitive tools, as primitive as will let you get the job done. And the reason is I find that the fancier the tools you get, the greater percentage of your time is spent working with the tools and not with the end goal. And that's a very fine balance. You can't very well anticipate with a fancy new tool. Where will that payoff come when you've stopped reading the instruction manual and you really know how it works, and it works every day, it doesn't fail all the time, and you've really made progress? In my experience is that's usually a long ways away from where you think it is when you start with a new tool. So I'm really reluctant to accept new tools until other people have tried them and I see that other people are making more progress than I am, then I can accept it. Just the detail, whatever it is. It's getting every little line to go to the right place. I guess I wish I could do it all myself, and that's the perfectionist part. But, mathematics, when you calculate it on the back of an envelope, that does not compute. There isn't enough time. And so I compromise by finding other people that I have the best confidence in to help with that area. But I would like to do it all myself. So I tend to go around a project working first in one area and then another to make sure I understand what's going on. And if I look at the real failures I've had, it's in areas that I neglected to follow through in the detail on. So that's what I'm doing today. To the extent possible, I want to delegate everything that has to be done so that 100% of my time can be devoted to taking care of crises that come up that were unanticipated. Once you get a project started, that's the way that I found it best to operate. I never thought about being remembered at all. I have no idea. I want to be remembered by the people I live with, being a person they wanted to be with. I want to be satisfied with myself when I die. I guess that's the most important. I did the right things, hopefully at the right times, although that's too hard to do all the time. Be comfortable with yourself. That's enough.